2014 with the motive to make a virtual incubator for women. This campaign is an endeavor to communicate the excellent work done by women around the world. It's an initiative with the goal of helping women entrepreneurs to grow local economies by providing business education, training, mentoring, and networking. We have such women who are gaining new revenue contract through interaction with industry leaders. We provide media reach, digital and print through their stories on exclusive YouTube channel. We also access them to capital and government support schemes across the country. At Women Innovator, we always welcome different and inspiring stories, and hence our speaker for today is Miss Pooja Jain. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hi Komal, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am,
Yes,
for being part of this session, and it's a pleasure to
my
have you
pleasure.
here. Yeah, I would like to take this
It's
opportunity.
my pleasure completely.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our speaker to the audience. So, Miss Pooja Jain is an accountant by profession and a yoga instructor by vocation. Pooja spent the early years of her life in Belgium. She later moved to Pune to pursue a bachelor's degree in commerce and subsequently qualified CA regardless where she lived and the course she pursued. Yoga was a common thread that wove the fabric of Pooja's life. For her, yoga is a way of life, and her journey with this discipline began when she was 10 years old. Pooja now offers her service under the banner Earth Yogi, a fine blend of finance, earth, and yoga, physical, mental, and spiritual well being. It's our pleasure to have you here, ma'am. Let's start this session. And I would start this session by asking a quick question. So, ma'am, being a chartered accountant, you went on to pursue a yoga instructor also. So, what was the motivation behind it?
Well, I understand, and the name itself says Arth Yogi. We need to have a balance between the finance and the health. Health is the wealth, and in the modern time, finance experts, as chartered accountants, have been working really hard to serve our clients. And in that process, we are forgetting our own selves, our own health, and our own family's health. So I realized that there has to be somebody who brings in this awareness amongst the professionals, amongst my colleagues as chartered accountants or any other professionals, to say that we as professionals, we as the ones who are driving this nation towards its growth, need to really have to take a little time out for our own selves. And there couldn't be a better way than yoga, because that's one of the most ancient sciences, which is not just about exercising, it's about a way of life. So yoga has to become a part of your life, and because I wanted to bring in that awareness along with chartered accountancy, I pursued yoga and became a yoga instructor as well.
That's interesting, ma'am. So, my next follow-up question is, how do you balance between profession and, and a passion? Because yoga is your passion and CA is your like profession. So, how do you balance between these two?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Luckily, it so happens that yoga, the hours of doing yoga or teaching yoga are early morning and generally late evening. So in the mornings and in the evenings, I'm doing what my passion is, and during the day, I'm pursuing my profession, and I'm practicing and specializing in GST.
Oh, that's really great, ma'am. And of course, it take lots of efforts to actually balance between these two. Now coming to our
Yes.
topic, so like yoga practice during menstruation is a controversial issue, and there are those who say that no women should practice yoga during her menstrual cycle, and others say practice everything. So what do you think? Should we practice yoga during menstrual cycle,
Okay.
and how yoga works, and like what are the benefits?
Yeah. So I'd like to put your answer in a couple of points. The first thing is, during menstruation, exercises are restricted. That's because they go really hard on the body, and during your menstrual cycle, the body is, I wouldn't say weak, but it gets a little on the delicate side. Again, it's very subjective, constitution to constitution. There are some people who just don't feel any pain. There are people who are comfortable. Some people have pain on the first day. Some people have pain on the second day. And there are people, like I used to be, a couple of, I mean, during my initial puberty and later on, that I used to have pain all the 3 days, and there used to be discomfort, cramps, and all these things. Now, with all that pain in the body, if you ask me to exercise or to do any yoga, I wouldn't really want to do it, because I'm already in so much pain, and stretching my body further will require a lot of energy, and I wouldn't want to move at all. You know, the lesser the movement, the better it is when there is pain in the body. But yoga has something called as active practice and passive practice. Now, when you are lying down, then why don't you lie down in a particular posture wherein the body passively is working so that your cramps or to do any active movements. Again, I would repeat that if you are under too much pain, then it's just good to lie down and rest and not get into any pose. But at the same time, when you know that your menstruation period, the menstrual period of 3-4 days is difficult, then it's good to prepare for the next menstruation cycle during the 20-25 days that you have, and then see how your cycle is after you practice yoga for these 20-25 days. If there is no much pain during menstruation, like no much severe pain, there are people who need to go to the hospital and get a bottle of blood and saline. Yes, I'm not exaggerating. I'm aware of such people. So they are not the ones who will do anything during the menstruation. They will go directly under medical assistance and follow that. But if you have a little pain, a little discomfort, then I would like to show a couple of poses now which are safe to practice during menstruation. 2 days, 1 day before, during, and maybe a day later also, when your body is just recovering from that little fatigue and being delicate. The first pose I would like to show you is get on a yoga mat and get into this pose which is called Baddha Konasana. It's called the bound angle pose. In English, it's also called the cobbler's pose or the butterfly pose. Well, here I would like to emphasize that flapping is not good. It's a big no to do the flapping. Please get in touch with me if you would like to know more about this, because that's a different subject altogether. But as of now, all I would like to say is no flapping. So get into this pose, and it may not be possible for you to rest the way I am resting my knees down. All I would suggest is just take a blanket, roll it up, support your outer thighs on both the sides. And if you can just take some wall support and sit straight. Try to bring the feet as close as possible to the perineum. Now, sitting in this pose, there are 3 variations that are very, very helpful during the menstrual cycle. Now, what I have done is, this is the arrangement for my thighs, and I'm just taking a bolster. That's the height. And what I would do is, I would sit down. I'm sitting in front of the bolster. I put my legs in Baddha Konasana, and very gradually, taking the bolster support, I go down and I lie down in this pose. My hands will go behind, and I will stay here for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. And you will notice that magically your pain reduces, or at least you are off the extreme discomfort that you are in. This is one of the poses. The second pose with the same legs is, you either fold forward, okay, and I'm just using this brick to fold forward, and I will rest my forehead. Now, maybe you would say that since I'm a regular practitioner, I'm able to really fold forward well and put my head down. And this may not be possible while you are menstruating. So have some support like this. Have a chair. Sit in Baddha Konasana. Okay, again. I like the Sanskrit names of the asanas and is why I'm referring to that. But it's the butterfly or the cobbler's pose. Put your hands on this. Rest it on a chair. Now this is a yoga chair. You can use any chair that you have at home and just rest your forehead down. It's the forward fold in this cobbler's pose, in the Baddha Konasana. It's a passive pose. You don't have to actively keep moving. I'll stay here for about 5, 7, 10 minutes, as long as I am comfortable. And then I slowly come out. This will give you a lot of relief during menstruation. Of course, the forward fold is very helpful. I would like to add that if you are unable to open your legs even so much, then please just increase the support on the either sides and sit straight. This is good. During menstruation, make sure you are very comfortable and not pushing yourself too much to practice. This is one of the poses that I really recommend during menstruation. I mean the 3 poses. One is a forward fold, backward and sitting. The legs in this pose are supposed to be the most comfortable. So that's about during menstruation, Komal. We can go on to the next question and I'll be on the mat and explain further.
Okay. Wow, ma'am, that's amazing to see the demonstration part. I think it has been very useful for women who are watching you currently. So I would like to ask, please, can you please tell us more yoga asanas which could be helpful to tackle the cycle,
Yes,
the menstruation cycle?
Yeah. So these were the 2 poses that I told you that you should be doing during menstruation. Again, it's very subjective. If there's too much pain, don't do it. Maybe you cannot go into this pose. You cannot have your legs like this. Just sit in a comfortable cross-leg posture. Bring a chair, have it in front of you, go down and rest forward. Apart from this, for the purpose of menstruation alone, we'll have a couple of asanas that I will now be talking about. It will also help in the hormonal imbalance issue. PCOD, PCOC, these are not diseases. Please don't consider them as diseases. They are just disorders which can definitely be put in order in a very short span of 3 months of regular yoga practice. Yes, I have assisted my senior teachers in the process and we've seen this happen, is why I can confidently say that this is curable. The second asana that I would like to talk about, I'll show it to you in 2 different angles. It's called Upavishta Konasana, where I open my legs wide, but I'll be going across my mat to show you how this goes. You open your legs wide as you can. Now, this may not be as comfortable. So, I will take wall support, have my hands behind me, and I will try to push myself as close as possible to the wall and stay here. Maybe I put my hands on top and hold and take deep breaths in this pose. Slowly come down. It's called Upavishta Konasana, wide angled pose. From here, you lift your legs out and come back. This is pose number 2. It's called Upavishta Konasana. The third one that I would like to go for is a very, very convenient and a very beautiful pose. This pose is beneficial for menstruation, during menopausal period, before menstruation, after menstruation, leg pain, back pain. You know, this really works wonders on all these things. And the pose goes like this. You have something near the wall. Just go close to the wall, okay? Sit down, lie down such that your butt is up. Put your legs up 90 degrees on the wall. It's called Viparit Karni, the opposite of doing. Hang your toes coming towards you and push the heels away such that the back of your legs get extended. The hands could be kept here on the side or at the back. All these three are supposed to be most convenient postures. The legs here now this is not to be done during menstruation. It is in between two menstrual cycles that you do. You go down with your legs here and open as much as you can. You stay here for 2-3 minutes. This is again having the same benefit like we did Upavishta Konasana sitting. You come back, bring your legs into Baddha Konasana here. When you do this, again, the entire gynecological organs area is being put to action, and internally the function starts getting stabilized and the system starts functioning normally, not causing any pain. These are the three asanas that you can do while you are lying down. 1, 2, and 3. They are in the pose, your back is rested. Make sure your back is comfortably rested completely. Your buttocks are touching the wall and legs go up, side, or in bound angle pose on the wall. These are the three asanas. You slowly come down. Please understand that when you have to come out of the pose, be very gentle with yourself. Come out like this and then lift yourself up. I'll show a couple of more asanas where we fold forward. Okay, I'll be using a chair. We also use these bricks to fold forward, but I'll use a chair for today's demonstration because you may not have these bricks available with you, but I'm sure everybody has a chair at home. So I'll be using this chair again in this way only so that you can see me. I just put my legs in. Komal, am I clearly visible?
Yeah, you are visible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I go here. I push my legs out. I'm sitting straight. Make sure your sacrum is not bent like this. And if you feel that it's really difficult to hold yourself up like that, then fold up a blanket, put it below your sit bones. That will give you a better lift in the sacrum area, and without making much of an effort, you will be able to sit straight. Bring this chair close to you, extend your hands on this, and just fold forward and rest here. Suppose this feels hard, then just take up a blanket or a towel or something, put it on this, and fold them. You stay here for a minute or 2 or 3 as you feel comfortable. This is called Paschimottanasana, where I am folding forward. I will change the position of my legs now. I will bring the heel of the right leg. I bring the heel of the right leg inside such that the foot is touching the inner rim or the inner thigh, to be specific, of my left leg. You see the left leg here is the toes are pulled in and the heels are pushing out. There's no space here. I cannot go through and through. And now again, I take my hands up. I stretch myself up and I exhale, and maybe I grip the backrest of the chair. While I'm extending the sides of my trunk, I'm also resting my forehead down. Now you noticed that I'm finding it slightly difficult to put the forehead down. So what I'll do, I'll just roll up this blanket a little more. So you have to learn to a little adjust and explore what suits your body height the best. So I'm going to do this. I'll stay here. Along with stretching the sides of my trunk and the spine, and my forehead being rested is actually giving me a very good stretch and relaxation here. You don't have to keep the hands here. Bring your hands down. rest them down. Sometimes you may feel that this height itself is more, is less. So roll it up, have more height. Do this. This is called Janu Shirshasana. You do it on both the legs. I will extend the right leg now and have the left leg here, and I will now fold forward. In the same, I have this chair itself as a base today, and now I'll go out wide-legged, and I'll go out on Upanishta Konasana, extended angle pose, and I will again fold forward. Yes, you may be wondering that in all the asanas I'm folding forward, while or during menstruation, before and after menstruation, we really need to calm down ourselves and make the body comfortable so that the hormones in the body settle down and stabilize. And again, fold forward in the same pose. I'll stay here for a couple of minutes. And then I slowly come up. So I'll just go through all the three poses quickly. One was I'm sitting straight. See, I told you that either I sit straight like this, or I take some height for the sit bones, sit on it, and then fold forward. 1. 2 was I folded one leg, and then I went down, and then I changed the legs to bring this here. And the third one I said was take your legs out. See, you may not be able to do this in day one. I've got it after a very, very long time of practice. Even if your legs open so much or even so much, it's fine. Just that keep the feet active, keep pushing the heels away, take the toes in, put your hands on the chair, rest the forehead down, and relax. Now these are the poses that I showed you. Please understand, I went really quick to show you the different variations. But for this one, I'll show you what you have to actually do in each pose. I open, I go down. This is a little too much high for me. I go down, I will rest. I close my eyes and I will stay in my breath. I'll have the awareness in my breath and breathe into the belly. When you breathe in, the belly moves out. When you breathe out, the belly moves in. This is like a balloon. So breathe in and breathe out. Try to take longer breaths while you stay in this pose. Slowly inhale, come up, release the pose. Vajrasana is the next pose that I will be doing. Now, you may say that for a lot of ladies, it's not possible to sit in Vajrasana like this because they cannot fold the knees the way I am doing. Maybe it's because of the regular practice. So, don't worry, there are ways to do it. You have, now, there will be two things that will happen while you do Vajrasana. One is that this part will hurt, for which roll up a blanket, okay, and then put your heels here. I put my heels here and I sit. So you may not be able to go down below this point. So how will you sit? You can't hold yourself like this for a long time. Take a bolster, put it here. So my ankles are supported with this. Don't mind, I'm off my mat, but since I want to show you in this angle, we'll have it here. And since I need height here, I have height below the sit bones of this bolster. Now you may feel that this is less height. Just modify, just be a little creative. Pick up another blanket, control it, increase this height and go down. See, I'm still sitting in Vajrasana. So when you're sitting like this or you are sitting like this, believe me, you're getting the same benefits. So just because you cannot go down like this, does that mean you are not eligible to get the benefits of Vajrasana? No. Just arrange yourself with some props, have some height, go down and sit here. Now here, when you want to do a forward fold, come on, just have a chair close to you. I have my chair here, and then I'll just go down on the chair. Here you need more height. Oh, there are ways. There is so much to explore in the house. Just take some blocks, rest your foot. Yes, I'm showing you different variations where I'm using a lot of support. Because the intention just now is not to stress or not to strain, or it is not to exert yourself. The purpose is to reduce the menstrual pain, PCOC, PCOD. So for all that, just begin with doing this. It's not about flexibility. Just get into that pose, learn how to do it. You won't believe with regular practice. If you have started from here, you will come down to this. You will move down to this. And maybe you will not even need this, and you will come down to this. But what it takes is regular practice. Yoga is not theory, it's practical. And that's what I was telling Komal. I said, Komal, you ask me questions and I can give you the names of the asanas and I can keep listing what to do. Instead, I would like to show a few asanas which are simple, and I would like each one of you who are watching me to do them, experiment them. I have explained there. You may get in touch with me there, and I will be able to assist you in any of these issues. And I'll be happy if I could make even a little bit of difference to your lives. Yes, Komal, I think I have answered and explained well.
That's really amazing to see all the asanas. And you are right, like you could have just told me the names of asanas, but you went on a demonstration part, and that was the best thing. Okay, so my next question is, ma'am, can you please tell us about the asanas which we should avoid during menstruation cycle?
Yes. So during menstruation, just don't go on your head at all, meaning no inversions like Shirshasana, Sarvangasana. If anybody knows the names, Shirshasana, Sarvangasana is not allowed. Please don't do it. The reason is we have a bag here, and from the bag, the outlet is downwards. The moment you turn the upside down, the natural system is inverted, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to disturb the natural flow of the process, and hence don't go on your head. Just don't go on any inversions. Where I'd like to show you one of the asanas is like this is called Shirshasana. So sometimes you're not able to do because I'm just off my menstrual cycle and the body doesn't really seem prepared. But I'll just give it a last try and see if I'm able to do it. It generally doesn't take so much time, but now that's Shirshasana. It's one of The very good poses, it's called the king of asanas. It's very good to practice it when you are not menstruating, and it will also help bring in control the pain and the hormones. All the disorders will be set right if you are able to practice this regularly. But this is not supposed to be done while you are menstruating. One is that. The second one is Sarvangasana. I can just go on that and show you. That's called the shoulder stand. Go up like this and come down. So in both these cases, you realize that I'm in the inverted pose. So any pose where you're getting inverted, don't do it. It's a big no.
Okay, okay, ma'am, that's great.
Yes, Komal.
So, ma'am, how often one should do yoga during this cycle for the best results, like in terms of time duration? Because it takes a lot of pain to do yoga during this cycle. So, what is the best timing to do yoga according to you? What do you suggest?
Well, it's just best to start your day with yoga, but that doesn't really mean that you have to come on a mat, get on a mat for 1 hour compulsorily, and only that will help you. Definitely, that will have amazing benefits if you do it for a very, very long time. But just do, see, the asana which I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4, going up on the wall. Can't you just do it on your bed? Why do you need a yoga mat for that? Right? So do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon, do it in the evening. Just try to be a little light on the stomach while you're doing this asanas so that you get maximum benefit. Vajrasana that we did can be done immediately after the food. It is really beneficial for all digestion related issues. It is extremely beneficial for constipation, gastric issues, acidity. All of these things will be taken care of after the meal if you sit this. There's only one asana that can be done after meal, and that's Vajrasana. And you can do a forward fold. And in the same asana, you can also lie down back like we did in Baddha Konasana. Okay, so like your question said that whether morning, whether evening, how much is the duration? I leave it to you. When you like something, don't you like to do it a little more? When something is benefiting you, would you not want to give yourself a little more time for that? So it's perfectly your choice. I think 15 minutes is good to start with. So you taste the flavor of yoga. If you like it, then you make it a part of your life.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So, ma'am, like regular practice is the only way. So, how do you maintain daily yoga practice? Or like, would you like to give any tips for continuing the regular practice?
Yes. So since all of us are working and we are professionals, we have deadlines to meet, we have so much work pressure, it generally is not really possible to have dedicated hours in every day. But I think at least 4 days a week, 3 days a week, 15, 20 minutes every day is a good thing to start with. Early mornings, late evenings, during the day, whenever you find time, just think of what can be done. What is the status in the abdomen? Are you full? Is the digestive process on? Then be light. Do the asanas which are relaxing, which are restorative. Do some breathing exercises. Today we're not doing that, but I'd like to say that Anuloma Viloma, which is you breathe in from the left, breathe out from the right, breathe in from the right, and breathe out from the left. This is a wonderful cycle, and doing these cycles every day as a breathing exercise is also highly beneficial for lung capacity. And as you all know, we are all facing this pandemic, and lungs and oxygen has become the talk of the town, and We really need to work on making our breathing system strong. The respiratory system has to get stronger, and that will also help your menstrual health. Uh, just design your day in such a manner that you are able to give 15 minutes to yourself in 24 hours anytime.
Okay, ma'am. So one last quick question. So can you please tell us more about Earth Yogi?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Arts Yogi, like I told you, that since I'm a chartered accountant and I realize how important finance is and yoga is about health, I got this name as Arth. I would like to work under this banner of Arth Yogi, where I would say it's a balance of health and wealth. Everything in the nature has to be balanced. Since we have done or since we've caused a lot of imbalance in the nature, we are facing the current times, and you know how difficult it is for all of us. It's a good time to understand that everything has to be balanced. Our lives have to be balanced, and which is why I would like to request all of you to please take care of your health. Please be conscious about your health. Please be conscious about yourself. Any amount of money you earn, if you're not able to enjoy that, if you're not able to live it up, if you're not able to really go out and enjoy, then it makes no sense. So let's have a balanced life where we have health and wealth. And like I told you, I have my page on Instagram. You can reach out to me. I've been sharing information about different asanas. Just now, there is an immunity food series that's going on, and then I'm going back to yoga asanas in the next week. I'll be sharing a lot of information on the asanas that are to be done during menstruation, before and after. Apart from that, I also conduct regular yoga classes morning and evening. And maybe because of the pandemic, I'm able to reach out to people across India as of now. Though I am stationed in Bangalore, these are online classes. You are most welcome to experience a class with me, and if you like it, you may continue. That's about Arth Yogi. And well, you all know I'm a chartered accountant and practicing, so that's part of my life as well.
Okay, ma'am. So with this, we reach the conclusion of the session, and it was a pleasure to have you, ma'am. And it was such an informative and helpful session. And thank you so much on behalf of Women Innovator for taking out your time and being a part of this session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Komal. You've been a great moderator. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Mohit.